Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Blacklogic. So for today, I have a couple of news updates for you guys. So let's jump right in. So Elon Musk, the tech magnate known for his ventures into space and electric vehicles, has now set his sights on the political arena of Wisconsin because in a move that's turning a lot of heads, even myself, because I wish I was there to get one of these $1 million checks, Musk has been distributing $1 million checks to select Wisconsin voters and declaring them as spokespeople for his political group. Now, this initiative comes ahead of pivotal state Supreme Court election that could significantly influence President Donald Trump's agenda. Musk's financial involvement has surpassed 20 million, primarily supporting conservative candidate Brad Skimmel. Now, this substantial spending has ignited debates over the legality and ethics of such contributions, especially after Wisconsin Supreme Court declined a request to halt Musk payments. Critics argue, even myself, that these actions may violate state laws against inducing votes, while Musk's legal team defends them as exercise of free speech. Because when we look at this, he kind of did something similar for Donald Trump, and a lot of the Democrats, a lot of liberals were saying that he's paying for votes. Now, my question is this to whoever: what's the difference of Kamala Harris paying the Black Action Network when it comes to Al Sharpton, paying Roland Martin's Unfiltered show for public publicity and to entice Black folk to be the base of the Democratic Party once again and to vote Democrat to elect Kamala Harris, even though those tactics didn't work because they wasn't producing any tangibles. They was just doing symbolism. But all these people was getting paid in order to entice Black folk and other bases of people to vote Democrat, and it didn't work. So what's the difference between Elon Musk paying particular people, again, to encourage, to induce, to entice other people to vote for the conservative party? I don't see a difference. Now, of course, some people are going to make the argument. Some people are going to try to deflect and defend this, but I really don't see a difference here. You're paying for votes by one way or another. Now, it's not directly, but again, it's paying for people and putting them in place and using money in order to motivate people to go to the polls. Now, again, if every single voter, whether it be for, at the time, Kamala Harris, or at this point, the Wisconsin representative, if everybody was handed a check of $1,000, I think most people wouldn't say anything about it. But again, these are a very select few, either organizations when it comes to Kamala Harris or people when it comes to Elon Musk. Again, he is embedding himself into politics more so than people have let off. This is not about Doge anymore. It's not just about the funding that NASA has given SpaceX anymore and a lot of the missions he's been on. Again, some of the things he's been doing has been great work. But again, I tend not to combine everybody's actions into a select few. Again, people are very diverse, and a lot of the things that they're doing, especially someone who's the richest man in the world, and Elon Musk, he's doing a lot of things that people can agree with. But again, other things you have to really step back and say, is this violating any laws? He's basically paying for votes. And again, I know a lot of people are going to make that argument, but again, I wanted to raise those concerns because don't you wish you was on stage receiving $1 million? I don't care who it's from, by the way. I don't really care where the $1 million is from, but if you're just going to give me $1 million, similar to Jeff Bezos giving Van Jones $100 million. For whatever reason, like, here's $100 million, you can do whatever you want with it. Okay, I'm out, I'm gone. I bought me a little small island, I bought me a little small city, and I'm going to live the rest of my life. I'm going to donate maybe $2 million to some my own charity funds. Okay, but majority of the money, I'm going to live a great life. But nonetheless, again, it says for a spokesperson. So I know the argument would be this. He is appointing them, okay, to positions where they're going to have to work. They're going to have to go out and beat feet, knock on doors to kind of, encourage people for these votes. So this is a public payment to show, okay? And if you notice what's on the check, it says America PAC. That's one of them hedge funds I'm not going to get into. But again, this is not directly coming out of Elon Musk's pocket. This money, if I use the connotation of funneled, but they are the organizations that is essentially paying this person. So it's not necessarily from Elon Musk. It's from a business entity, but Elon Musk is presenting the check. And it says for spokesperson, meaning that this is a paid for job. And this could be a sign-in bonus, or this could be a yearly bonus. Again, I know all the arguments and all the deflections that are going to come out of this, but they know what this is going to do. And I really don't see it any different, okay, than Kamala Harris paying a lot of these black news networks to entice, induce, encourage, and motivate black people to go out and vote for her, okay? Because she's paying for the airwaves. She's paying for them to be on her side, so to speak. But again, that is the way that I look at it. Now, in a recent interview, President Trump has floated the idea, and I really touched on this last night. If you really want to see an analytical breakdown of him running on the second, the 22nd Amendment and trying to obtain a third term, please listen to the broadcast last night. I'm just covering it for you guys who have missed it, because despite the 22nd Amendment, which is a clear 2-term limit, and if he is trying to find a loophole or gray area within the Constitution, he'll be violating the 22nd Amendment. But for quite some time, it seems as though he's always been on the border. He's always been on the border of violating the Constitution, because he has hinted and said certain things as if we should be throwing out the Constitution and create another Constitution. So this whole democracy and the republic, and we should be constitutionalists and we should be abiding by the Constitution. The very same president that has been appointed and given the powers by the Constitution is trying to dismantle it, because he suggested that there are methods to achieve this unprecedented move, though he remained vague on specifics. And this violation has sparked firestorm of debate among constitutional scholars and politicians alike, questioning the feasibility and implication of such pursuit. I wonder where all of the Republicans and conservatives and liberals and Democrats and independents and progressive, whatever they label themselves today, the Senate, the senators, the congressional members, the judiciary branch, the federal judges, where's everybody just, again, letting and informing Donald Trump that you cannot serve a third term? You'll be violating the Constitution and you'll be thrown from office. Because again, a lot of things that he signed executive order, in my opinion, again, I've looked at a lot of the executive orders I agree with. But this right here, I don't care how much MAGA you think you are, how much conservative you think you are, you can't just change the terms of the Constitution because finally somebody in office that you like. Because America will soon turn into a dictatorship. And I promise you, just like a lot of people who voted for Donald Trump, whether they be Hispanic or not, are now regretting their vote. I didn't say everyone, but there are quite a few people and quite a few groups who are now retracting their process of how they went about voting for Donald Trump. Because again, a lot of the things he is now spewing, a lot of the things that he's now stating, a lot of things that he's now saying, in my opinion, is a start of a dictatorship. This is how it starts, because guess what? Greenland's new prime minister, he has come out and he has firmly dismissed President Trump's renewed assertions about the U.S. acquiring the Arctic territory. And he stated unequivocally that the United States won't get that. I want to make sure you guys are very clear what I'm stating here. The new prime minister of Greenland stated that the United States would not get Greenland. We do not belong to anyone else except for Denmark. We do not belong to anyone else except for Denmark. We determine our own future. And this strong stance of the prime minister of Greenland comes into response to Trump's comments expressing confidence in obtaining Greenland and ruling out, and not ruling out military intervention. President Trump has not ruled out military intervention, and the situation has heightened tensions between the U.S., Greenland, and Denmark, with Danish officials criticizing the U.S. administration's approach and rhetoric because Trump says military force is not off the table. So I want you guys to put things into perspective. Donald Trump stating that it's a possibility that he can run for a third term, that there's loopholes in gray areas within the Constitution. In my opinion, according to the 22nd Amendment of the Constitution, there's no loopholes, there's no gray areas. You can only serve 2 terms. Some people are playing on the wording of, President Obama cannot serve a third term because his terms were consecutive. As a matter of fact, I do this time to time. Let's look up the 22nd Amendment. Let's look up the 22nd Amendment, because I think this is going to be very important. No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. And this is coming from constitution.congress.gov. No person shall be elected to the office of the president no more than twice. And no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of president more than once. You cannot serve more than 2 terms. And if so, he'll be violating the Constitution. And our judiciary branch, our congressional branch, and our Senate shall all be in cahoots in a collaborative effort to oust Donald Trump after he served his 4 years on his second term out of the office. But while this is really spawning and spinning, they should really be discoursing and changing direction of his rhetoric and speech. But I don't hear that on the conservative front. I don't hear that on the conservative front. Now, I've been telling you guys for quite some time now, that you guys should really be investing in gold. And I've been investing in gold for the past 10 years because gold is a very hot commodity. Gold is used in a lot of products. A lot of people just think gold is this, very lucrative, tangible mineral and metal that you hold on to. But gold is used in many apparatuses, many machines, many devices. So it always has uses. And the less gold that we find, the more gold is valuable. So it say that gold prices have soared past 3,100 per ounce, what has reached an all-time high as investors seek safe haven assets in the deals of these escalating trade tensions. Now, gold has experienced an 18% increase in this quarter, making its best performance since 1986. And the surge is largely, contributed to concerns over President Trump's proposed tariffs and their potential impact on the global economy. And uncertainty looms because gold appeal as stable investment continues to grow, reflecting broader apprehensions. And for quite some time, I was even informing people that they should invest in gold and or silver. I have both. Because these are tangible precious metals that you can go to a gold reserve, go to a gold deposit and trade in and actually get cash. Because a lot of people, when you think about the BRICS, okay, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and South Africa, and there's other countries that are falling under the BRICS, they were talking about changing the currency back to the olden ways, to ancient times, to gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and even iridium, where precious metals are once again the foundation and stability of a country's economy and their currency. So we have a lot of countries who are changing their currency, not from fiat. Okay, fiat is basically the dollar, the note, IOU. Okay, because again, President Nixon for the United States of America back in 1970, 1971 changed the standard of our currency from gold to fiat, IOU, debt. So America started becoming the richest country in the world, even more so because IOU. Think about this. What if you, like when I went to Africa, I've been to Africa 3 times. I've been to 3 different countries. And you will see in these 3 different countries, these makeshift buildings, right? And I will always ask my tour guide, I will always ask my driver, why are these buildings not finished? He said, because they had enough money to purchase the land. They had enough money to purchase, to start construction of their homes. Because a lot of these places have built homes, right? You can just see the outer shell, maybe some brick, maybe some mortar, but no interior, like, an actual structure. It's just like a skeleton of a structure, so to speak. He said, because there's no loans. The banks don't give out loans. It's just banks are just here to hold your money. I said, so you can't go to the bank and get a loan? He said, absolutely not. You actually have to have the money. What if that happened to America? What if you could buy nothing on credit? A lot of us wouldn't have homes. A lot of us wouldn't have houses. Excuse me. Yeah, homes or houses. A lot of us wouldn't have cars. We wouldn't have motorcycles, cars, boats. We wouldn't have anything really. So when I look at these other countries, they don't have a loan process. You either have the money or you don't. Because a lot of these people save up 10, 20, 30 years in order to purchase land and to build a house. Now, it helps me to understand why a lot of people come to America, either illegally or legally, because they can take out loans and they can purchase a home in their 20s, in their 30s. A lot of these other countries, a lot of these people don't have homes. They live in apartment buildings and shanty towns. And if they do own a home, they're usually over the age of 40 or 50, unless their country, again, has a lending system, but a lot of these countries don't. So again, as inflation is high, the value and price of gold is high per ounce. It's kind of making me think, should I trade in my precious metal for fiat of money that I can spend, or should I just hold on to it? Because as we look at how all people around the world look at generational wealth, some people look at generational wealth as living thousands or millions of dollars to their children or their family members. Some people believe in passing down a home, a house. Some people even think about passing down a rare car, or a car in general, something that they don't have to work for, that can assist them into building their standard of living and wealth as well. Why not gold or silver? Just a thought. Just a thought. Now, in local news, I found this in New Jersey, that the U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement agents have arrested Ming Zing Zhang, the owner of Ya Ya Noodles, which is a very popular restaurant in Somerset County, New Jersey. Now, Zhang was apprehended in Newark and remains in ICE custody because authorities allege that Zhang, a Chinese national, was involved in activities related to espionage, sabotage, or export control against the United States of America, making him subject to deportation. This arrest underscores the ongoing efforts of immigration and enforcement agencies to address national security concerns and the complexities surrounding immigration and business ownership in the United States of America. Why would we ever release someone who is here under the guise of a business owner, but that we deem a spy? because they stated that it was espionage, sabotage. That's a spy. Espionage deals in that is spy tactics. What are we talking about? Let him go. Deporting him. Now, I'm pretty sure they have interrogated him. But again, espionage in America, is there some sort of federal offense? We're just going to deport him back to his country? I don't know. But again, there's a lot of things going on in the news, but I want to make sure that we keep our eyes very concentrated on Donald Trump speaking about a third term. Because again, all of us are standing behind the Constitution in which that document represents. But I have yet to see a mass amount of conservatives come out against Donald Trump's rhetoric about serving a third term. But nonetheless, I'll keep you guys updated. If you're new to Blacklogic, please hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you're notified every time I go live or I release a video. You guys have a great and wonderful morning. This is Blacklogic.